Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. It's Chibi Friday again, and this time I'm going to be drawing the chibi that is the winning Patreon reward for the contest that we have every month for everyone who supports at the $5 level or above. They're entered in to win a chibi drawing of their choice. Pretty much any subject can be made into a chibi. It's the same winner again this month because I've just got my one best friend supporting me on my Patreon. So I'm drawing another one of her webcomic characters. This time it's one that that I am not personally as familiar with as the main characters. And she has been in the comic a little bit. I think it's a sort of like a prequel chapter, but I don't feel like in my heart like I know her as well as the main four characters that live in the apartment together. But I've got a great reference image here for her, so it's going to be pretty easy to turn her into a cute chibi. So, as usual, starting with my 3H super hard lead pencil, and I'm just going to draw a huge circle to be the head. That's usually how it goes. It's a big part of what makes a chibi is having a huge head. My chibis usually have a, I'd say 1.5 times the size of the body, the rest of the body. Sometimes even more. Sometimes a little less, depending on if the body is a lot more important to the character design. But this will be a pretty standard one. Since it's a female character, I always do a little bit of a triangle for the torso instead of straight up and down. And then try to make the hips stick out just as much as the shoulders so that you've got that nice bowing in. And that's just because my chibis are generally so androgynous that for a character that is overtly female, I need to do something so that this tiny little body looks like a female body. I remember that it was my younger sister, who was also a professional artist. We were working at a convention artist alley, and I was commissioned to draw Harley Quinn. And Harley Quinn is not just a female, but she's very feminine. So I really needed to figure out, how am I going to make this look like? It kept just looking, straight up and down. It looked male or androgynous. Didn't look female like it needed to be. And that's how I figured it out. I kept drawing it, and my sister kept giving me pointers and ideas, and between the two of us, I got my chibi female bodies figured out. So it's like, with the chibis, even if they wouldn't in their normal proportions have such accentuated female features, since these chibi bodies are so small, that's just how it is when they get transformed. And I'm just drawing the main features of the body, physical features, and then I will go in and add the clothes in a bit. I'm not going to do that first. Let's get the main shape position of the limbs and everything, then come back to it. And this character seems to have pretty big boobs, so I want to make sure that that shows. Because again, with the chibi body, it just doesn't really, there's not much room to show body features, character design, body features. arms. I'm just going to erase some of these lines, these initial guidelines, now that I don't need them anymore. For some reason recently I've been getting out of the habit of using my little brushy brush, and that's bad because if you don't use that, it can smear the page with all this graphite and everything, and it makes it really hard to clean up. Okay, she's holding one hand up because she's I think she's another demon type character, and she uses, I mean, this for sure, she uses ice type magic, has ice powers. Don't know if it's magic or just powers or what, but she's holding her hand up doing a little swirl of ice. I gotta remember to leave room to do that effect. I was thinking maybe I should use some sort of paint or something. I'll just try not to ink. Just like swirling around her arm. If I use acrylic or something, then I wouldn't have to worry about whether I ink or not, because the acrylic will just cover it up. Then I won't have to work so hard on planning whether. But I do have to be careful. This paper is pretty thin. It doesn't take much wet media. Markers is pretty much all it can do. I can use colored pencil too. That won't cover the ink as much. But even in this reference image, which is done with digital media, the lines are still showing through, so it looks like this power is supposed to be like translucent. So I guess it won't be too bad if I just go ahead and ink like normal and then use colored pencils to make the magic effect. Okay, figured that out. I'm not quite sure about the position of this arm here. Oops, I need to use my brushy. Oh, I get it. Why didn't I put these two things together? What she's doing... Okay. I need to change the position of this arm. I saw the swirl of ice or water. Now I'm not sure. Maybe it's water magic. Am I mistaken? Either way, it's a blue swirly of magical stuff. And she's holding a water bottle, and just now I was like, why is she even holding a water bottle? Oh, duh! She's bringing the water out and like swirling it around her own arm, like showing off her powers. Okay, so I need to draw this arm a little bit different in order to... I need to connect a water bottle with the arm on the other side. So let's just start with the water bottle, basic shape of a water bottle. It's got a little plastic end where stuff comes out. A little Chibi water bottle. It's so small. Here's a little label on it. There. Okay. Now I get what's going on in this picture. I don't know why I didn't see that before. Didn't notice it before. Okay. Let's see. Flip strange how it... Ugh, it's too thick. Too thick based on the other leg. Why can't I get this the way I want it? Now the only problem with this Sumo Grip retractable eraser is when I push it back in for when I'm done so that it'll, you know, stay nice and protected in there. It's such a pain to get it back out. It really doesn't like to come back out. I have to like shake it down while I'm clicking. I have to get a little violent with it. Okay. So I'm having a little trouble being happy with the legs, and it's because they need to be mostly front facing. I drew one facing really out the first time, and I guess I don't like that. Yeah, that's much better. I like them both being towards the front a little bit. Okay. Gosh, I'm finally satisfied with the body. Now, her head. So it's not going to work exactly the same as this reference picture, because with the picture with normal proportions, her arm is way up here and she's like looking over at it. So her head is turned looking at her arm, which is kind of off to the side. With the Chibi body, the arm doesn't go to the side of the head, it's too small. So I think what's important is that she's looking at what she's doing. I think that's more important than which way the head is facing. So instead of drawing it the way it is in this picture, I'm going to draw it so that it matches well with the event taking place right here, the activity that's going on. So it's mostly going to be the centered head, maybe looking down a little bit. This is the line for the eyes. I'll draw standard Chibi jawline. I think that's a little too long right there. I see. I need to make this angle a little higher. Let's see, how long is this? From the midpoint to the corner, it's about to this gold line. So it needs to be right here. And let's see if I do it right there. And then bring it up for the cheek. There we go, nice and even. Let me check something on my... The stream looked frozen, but then I went to check and it started moving, so I don't know what the heck's going on with it. Oh, okay. Now, since she's a demon or an elf or something, I don't remember her actual background very well. She's got these big pointy ears, but they're kind of cute and floppy. They kind of curve down. Hopefully, gosh, hopefully I have room. So since she's going to be looking down a little bit, tilting her head down. Tilting the head down brings the ears up. So I'm going to put the ears higher up than I normally would. Trying mostly the same size of ear. This part comes right over here. One looks way more floppier. That's not right. Let's fix that. Got my two starting points. Let's see. How's that? That's closer. Yeah. I mean, nobody is perfectly symmetrical, but it should be pretty close. Especially for an anime style character, it's only when you really want to bring attention to something that is out of the ordinary, out of the realm of normal or average, that you would purposefully draw something very asymmetrically. So this big overhang in each ear. Fix this cheek over here a little bit so it's more in line with the other one. Okay, now, let's see, should I draw her hair first or her face? I think I'll draw the hair first. And I need to look closely. So she's got these really long ear tails coming down. And it looks like they're actually tied at the bottom decoratively, and they're definitely wavy, so try and get that. These are very long ear tails too. On the character it goes down to her waist pretty much, so since it's a chibi with the chibi body, I'm going to make it not all the way down to the ground, but I'm going to make it go pretty far down. And it looks like tied like this, or clipped, I'm not sure, but this kind of stuff, I always have such a hard time. This kind of character design stuff, I have a hard time coming up with that. I always need direction. If someone gives me a starting point, then I am all over it. But coming up with stuff like this, it's just not my forte at all. I just feel overwhelmed and lost when I think of designing my own character from scratch, like coming up with OCs from like an established universe. Oh sure, that's easy enough. But this has always been amazing to me, that my friend has created this whole world with characters, their relationships to one another, their histories, etc. Like, yeah, I just can't do that. I mean, I can, but it's not natural to me. It's so much work. So let's see. These sort of match with their waviness, or it's kind of random. Can't tell. I think I'll make them sort of symmetrical in the way they curve in and out. Okay, let's get these ribbons on. I'm going to try to make these symmetrical too. So. And then the 3 little wisps at the bottom where the hair separates. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. So this is the eye line here. So the bangs actually cover the eyebrows a little bit. And they're already touching the eyebrows in this reference where the head is pretty much straight up and down. But since I'm having it look down a little bit, bangs should actually cover more, because with the head tilting down, more of the top of the head is exposed. So she's got bangs all across. They're pretty even. They're spiky, but pretty even. And she does have a couple of really big antennas. Cowlicks, I think they call them ahoge in Japanese. But otherwise her hair is actually pretty smooth. Since her head is turned, I think they're pretty centered. Hopefully I'm not incorrect. Soon's a barking at somebody outside. Woo! Woo! And she does have, her hair is cut in the back about to the chin line. So actually, I don't know if any would show. Since she's tilting her head down, that would bring that hair in the back up. Maybe I'll just draw a couple poking out like right over here. Just to show that the hair is there. she also has some really big hoop earrings, and they're pierced, looks like halfway across. And these earrings have always stood out to me, so I'm going to try and make sure they're quite big. They always stood out to me for how big they were. Yeah, that looks good. That looks cute. Really big hoop earrings on Chibi ears. Okay, so the last thing that isn't a little detail thing is her face. Add her face, and then I'll go add the clothes. Let's see. I need to zoom this in further. Okay. Now her eye should be probably there and there. I'm going to try this, see how it looks. Instead of the normal, like, drawing an eye top of a lid like this, I'm going to try drawing it straight and almost curved downways a little bit to show that she's looking down at her hand. And if it doesn't look right, then I'll change it back. I'll draw it as a more standard. Get these little guidelines out of the way. I'm going to start drawing the inside part of the eye, the iris, pupil. I need her to be looking at her hand. Hopefully I can make it look like that. Look at your own hand, Chibi. Oh, that's looking pretty good. And she's got like a just a gentle smile. Maybe admiring her own work a little bit. Yeah, man, I think that's good. I think that's good. Okay. Face is done. Let's see, okay. Not really anything super unique about her facial features. So I don't think I'm missing anything. Now, let's see, she's got a sleeveless crop top on. And I need to zoom back out. You can see the whole outfit. And a blue skirt, kind of low, so it shows her abs. Let's see her abdominals. This is sort of like A-line skirt, I guess, or even a pencil skirt. This skirt does have what do you call this? Not a hem. It's like a border at the top. Gosh, there's a word for that. And this doesn't go all the way down. It's got a fly in the front, but it doesn't go all the way down. The seam for the fly, I mean. Okay, and then there's also the belt slung fashionably across the hips. So erase a little bit more detail out of here so I can add the belt buckle without getting confused about what's belt buckle and what's something else. And the belt buckle's pretty much right in the center. There we go. And then she's got some knee-high sporty socks on. And little pink tennis shoes. And these socks in the original reference have double lines, but I think to preserve the look of them being long knee-high socks, I'm just going to put a single line on this chibi, because otherwise I'll fill in the whole sock with lines and that will have a different effect. And she doesn't have any bracelets or rings or any other accessories other than the belt and her earrings. Okay, I think I'm ready to ink. Done with the pencil. Maybe not done with the erasers. Maybe. I'm definitely not done with the erasers. I'm going to start inking with my favorite my current favorite, Cocoa Ito pen with the little brush pen small nib in it with black ink. This pen is interesting because you can actually take this out and you can buy different refills. You can buy different types of ink or different types of tip on it. So I think the point is that you buy which outer part you like to express yourself through the appearance of the pen, but then whatever you need to use, they've got colored ink and they've got all this stuff. But I got this in a Art Snacks box, so this doesn't express me at all. Blue is like my least favorite color ever. But this isn't my least favorite of the blue shade, so at least that's good. Okay, let's get started. I like starting with this brush pen because I can ink the whole thing at once without changing pens, and then when I want to go in afterwards and add more detail to my ink job, then I'll use these pens here to add little details here and there, thicker lines or more precise tapering, that kind of stuff. But these brush pens are also good for, I don't do it anymore, but when I was in Artist Alley making chibi drawings like this on the spot, where sometimes I'd really need a hurry in order to get my whole list done before the convention was over, using just a brush pen like this and not worrying about doing the super detailed final inking with the other pens, you still end up with a really good chibi. It's just not quite as detailed. I'm gonna undo. I'm wearing one of my favorite summer shirts for the first time this summer, and it's an open back shirt with like this like net material that you tie it in the back. But for sitting in my chair right now, it sucks because I'm sitting on the knot. I'm leaning against the knot of fabric. That's much better. Just undid that back part. Been really refreshed recently because I went to the thrift store and bought a bunch of shorts, because my pant size has gone down so much since last summer that, for one, a bunch of my shorts didn't fit, and then for two, I didn't like the style of most of the ones that still did fit, because my legs have gotten so muscular from all the hard work I've been doing over the years that I want a little bit shorter shorts so that I can show off all the work I've been doing. So I got rid of two pairs that were they're like beyond Bermuda short length. They were like way past my knees. They were almost capri length. And it's not as temperature cool either to wear those longer shorts. It's much cooler as far as temperature is concerned. the less fabric you've got on. So I ended up buying 2 pairs of denim shorts and a pair of like off-white shorts and a pair of black shorts, and I got like a skirt thing that has shorts under it, not black. And then I still have the 1 pair of shorts I kept, which was my favorite pair, brown shorts. So today I'm feeling really good because I'm wearing a new pair of shorts, wearing my favorite summer shirt. Now it's like it's Friday, so I want to go out somewhere and be out among people in my cool outfit that I am really pleased with. Might go out somewhere. There's some stuff happening today. Actually, it's summer, so there's always stuff happening all over the area. I think I'm breaking in this brush tip because I've been getting much thicker lines than I expect. So just got to be a little more precise with my application of pressure. Don't want to forget these little hair wraps. We have a little water bottle. Okay, gotta get pretty precise right here. So many small details in one little spot. Almost done. The socks. And the little tiny shoes. Oh, I almost forgot her other side of her body. I definitely would have noticed that once the erasing happened. Okay, I'm not done with inking, but I want to erase first. So I'll start with the outside as usual to clean up any graphite I might have smeared with my hand. And that also gives the ink a chance to dry. Final chance to dry before I start erasing. That's something that was made really important to me in my high school art classes. It was my main art teacher would always emphasize craftsmanship in her grading. And when I saw the people who lost marks because of lack of craftsmanship, I understood why she thought it was so important, because, you know, they would leave smudges on the edge of the paper, or they wouldn't try to clean up messes they had made that weren't meant to be part of the piece or something like that. And you could tell that it was just messy work, that they didn't care about presenting the best possible piece they could. And they probably didn't care, because a lot of people just take art classes, especially in high school. Luckily, in university, they've made it a lot harder for people to do that, though they still do it and take seats away from people who are actually trying to study art rather than get an easy A. So all the people in there for the easy A didn't give a crap about their final result. They just wanted to fill out their credits and have a class where they didn't have to care. But I cared. So I learned that lesson well, and I understood right away why it was important for someone who wanted to be a professional artist. Though at the time, I wasn't sure if that was what I wanted to do, or if I wanted to be a writer, or even at my very first semester in college, I was considering going into advertising just because it was such a fascinating field. The first degree that I really considered, because it was the closest to advertising, was communication. But then I came to my senses and realized that is not the kind of field that I would thrive in. Even though it's interesting, it's different when you're actually just working in it from, you know, day to day, working with clients or whatever. I quickly realized it's not what I wanted to do. The same thing with graphic design. That was the only visual arts degree that college had, my first college. Maybe they have more now, but they didn't have illustration or animation or anything that was like what I really wanted to do. And when I was looking at graphic design, it quickly became obvious that it was not even anything like what I really wanted to do with art as a career. And that's why I moved all the way across the state to go to Boise State University, and a whole bunch of stuff happened because of that. I got my first IT job because I was looking for a job in the area so I could move, and then eventually that IT job became more important to me than my art endeavors. But then it wasn't, for various reasons. Then I returned to art, and I'm happy to be here. It was like a roundabout way of getting to where I always wanted to be, but it was worthwhile. It was definitely worth it to take that detour of 10 years or so. Because now I'm in a position where I can really focus on my art education in a way that I never would have been able to if I had stuck with it and also stuck with the IT job that was paying my bills. I'm lucky that along the way all these circumstances happened. And once I finally finish my application, can start at BSU as a full-time student with no other obligations. That's how I always wanted to do college, because I just love college. I love school. I love learning, not just college. I enjoyed all my grade school days too. So I'm so fortunate that I can go back and concentrate on it 100%, no distractions. Really go for what I want. I need to get in contact with the English department and the art department so I can talk to the, I don't know, leaders or whoever I need to talk to about double majoring. That's what I'd like to do more than anything else, is start writing and illustrating my own books. But in order to be a good writer, you really do need education. Because I've read plenty of self-published books on Amazon, and it's like, yeah, they have a great idea for a story, but the execution is so poor that I can't enjoy it. Like, an idea is not good enough. You need to, especially to stand out in this world where anybody can do writing, anybody can do art. That's a good thing overall for like society, but if you want to make a career out of it, it makes it really tough. So I want to go to school for both things and learn as much as I can, and also make connections. And university is actually a great place to make connections for something like an art career or a writing career. You can network. That's the verb these days. You can network with people that if you just tried to contact them on your own online, out of the blue, they probably wouldn't have the time for you. But if you're connected through college, through your professors or college clubs that have been well established and have a good rapport with these people to begin with, that's what I'm really hoping to get from finishing my degree. I always wanted to finish my degree just to finish it. I don't like to leave stuff like that undone. But I don't only want to go just for that. I want to make the most of it. I want to get my value out of my education. But I haven't finished my application yet because they got to this honors college part. And I'm like, do I want to do the honors college? For the most part, I feel like yes, because it's again an opportunity for me to just make the most of this opportunity that I have. Like, I never thought that I would be in the position where I could just go to school and do nothing else. So it's like, I want to do as much school as I can. Honors college is like taking it up to difficulty level max or something. But I've talked to a couple people who have actually graduated with their degrees, and one person says, don't even bother. And the other person says, I really recommend trying to get in. So I'm like, well, should I do it or not? I think I probably will at least apply. Because I've got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose from applying. I have to write an essay. And that's it. It's 500 words, so it'll take me like a day. With editing and everything in consideration. Because actually, I'm one of those weird people who love writing. I always loved when we were assigned essays in school or assigned some sort of writing task. Yes, I love it. I love getting to share my opinion. And it's like in my paper, I am the only voice, and whoever is reading it, even if it's just a professor or a teacher, they have to listen to me. It's just like I felt the same way when I took speech class, especially in college. In college speech class, that feeling was really strong of having control, and as long as you're really prepared too, then you can field the questions in speech class that pop up, even if it's like a dissenting opinion or whatever against whatever you're trying to say. As long as you're well researched, then you still have control. And you can put them in their place. Not in a mean way, but just like, if you have all the facts and someone presents a question where they're like, yeah, but what about this? And you can say, actually, this, and you have an answer, and it's well researched and supported. The only trouble with that is like in speech class, if I remember correctly, you were often just assigned a side of an argument, regardless of whether you agreed personally or whether science or facts really supported that view. But it was practice. It was supposed to be practice. You'd have to find ways to support it anyway. I don't like that part of it, since you can start doing your research, and the more you research, the more you find that your assigned topic is not very defensible. Yeah, I love doing that with pointy bangs and stuff. Adding that extra black in there where they meet. I think it looks so good. Looks so good. I think I need to lower my chair. I'm leaning over too much, and it's... goodness. I'm trying to lower these arms. I prefer to be higher up, but I need this. I finally found the type of thing I need to support my feet so that I'm not putting stress on my back from my feet dangling down all day long. The problem is it's so freaking expensive. A lot of the places I've seen it for sale, it's like $300 or $400. I found one site that has it for $100, but it's like you have to call in to make an order, and that always kind of gives me pause, but it's the only thing like it. So I need a footrest that doesn't just sit on the ground. The problem with that is that when they just sit on the ground, you keep hitting them with the legs of your rolly office chair, and it's super annoying. But this one actually attaches to the chair, to the pole in the middle, and it's like a platform, and you can move it in or out. I mean, you have to take the wheels off of the chair, but I have no problem doing that, especially for something that could help me stop having so much back pain. And a little shadow here where the skirt is overhanging the legs. Always love doing this extra shading with just the ink and the lines, because even if in the end product someone just looking at the picture real quick and just giving it a glance, they might not notice the difference, but I definitely notice the difference between the ones where the Chibis where I've made them in Artist Alley on the spot in a relative hurry. So I skipped this step because I've often had like a huge waiting list, and I don't want people to wait too long or to have to mail it to them So I've had to do that in the past. But this, I can really see. I can see the difference on those versus these chibis where I do it at home and I can take my time. I saw like a flashing out of the corner of my eye. It must be kind of breezy outside because the light from behind my curtains is going like flashing. But it's just the sky is being covered by... It was distracting. I was like, what the heck is that flashing? I don't have any electronics over there. It wasn't electronics. Okay, anywhere else? Maybe right here where she's holding the bottle. Water bottle. I did the bottom of this ear, but I realized I'm going to do the whole thing at the end anyway, so there's no point doing the other ear. I'll do a little bit under her shoes to give her a nice grounding here. Since there's no actual background to put her in space visually, just put a little bit of shadow to make it feel like she's standing on something. Maybe the only thing I'll do is one little bit thicker line around this water bottle to help it stand out from all these other lines that are happening around it. There's a lot of activity right here. A little too much visual activity. Okay. I'm done with inking, I think. I'm gonna have to be really careful in these areas where I did a lot of black ink. You have to be careful not to let it smear. Okay, I'm stretching a little bit. Just gotta stretch. Goodness. Okay. Alright. Time to start coloring. I've got my markers here. I wish this brush didn't have this little curled up one. It always bugs me. Okay. You need to start with the lightest color. So that'll be the socks. They are white socks. Put my erasers away. Get them out of the way. Okay. I think I'm going to go for neutral gray for the socks, but maybe... I think I'll go toner gray. Start with toner gray 1. Oh yeah. Light source. So in this picture, it seems to be, in the reference picture, seems to be coming from like this, which is how I usually do it, so that's perfect. I don't even have to think hard. Just a little graphite line I missed. There. It's really important to get these lines up, the graphite lines, before you start coloring with markers. So once you put the marker down, you're not going to be able to erase the graphite. and sometimes adding the marker on top of the graphite actually makes the graphite stand out more than it did when it was just plain paper. Okay, I think that's good now. And all these little eraser shavings. Oh, okay, here we go. So, with the light coming like this, shadows will be on this side. There's nothing else white here, so this is the only time I'll be using these colors. Let's skip straight to toner gray 3. I want to get that nice reflected light effect. So I'm not going to go all the way to the edge with this color. There we go. That's all I need for that. So the next lightest color is probably the shoes. It's just such a tiny little area, so I just need 2 different pinks. Pink tennis shoes. RV11. That'll be a perfect start. Yeah, I gotta fix this lamp. It's shining in my eyes. Actually, let me bring it over like this. I don't know if that's better for the camera, but it's definitely better for me. Probably be better overall if I just kept both of my lights on this side, since I'm left-handed, so the light can come in under my hand. Maybe I'll try that next time. Okay, for the darker color, let's do RV34. Red, violet, 34, dark pink. There's a little kitty hair on here. Kitty hair on my marker. Okay, I'm going to go back to that RV11, because now that it's dried, a little too dark. Not that dark. There. Okay, that's good enough for the shoes. Now, the next darkest thing is her top. Tapped her head. No, top. It's a light blue. She's got a lot of blue. Makes sense since she's a water or ice user. Her name is Icys, so I always think it's a ice, but maybe she has both. Maybe ice is just one of the things, because ice is water. B21. Baby blue. Baby blue. So in the areas I need to be careful not to let this extra ink get pulled in. Try to tap rather than swipe the marker in those areas. So this bottle is supposed to be clear, except where the label is. So I'm going to color it, but not all the way. And then that way it will help give it the effect of you're seeing this stuff through the bottle. So it's clear, but still being distorted. So sorry, I didn't color all the way to the edges right there. I'll keep this out for a second. What would be a good next color? I think I'm going to skip straight to B24, and I don't like how this is not very vibrant. I'm going to skip to this sky color. B24 sky. For my shadows, and the light's coming like this, so add the most shadow on this side. This is a big enough area. I think I might bring in a third color. And being careful not to put too much inside where it's bottle area. Should definitely be shaded by her huge chibi head. Huge, gigantic chibi head. Ooh, that's looking good, yes. Now, what's my third color? Yeah, this cobalt blue is pretty good. B26, the next one in line. But again, I want to get that reflected light effect. So I'm going to be really careful about the placement of this color. I love that reflected light effect. Even if it doesn't actually make sense. Because for the reflected light thing to work, there needs to be something nearby to reflect the light back. So it doesn't always make sense, but when something like this and you don't even know where this is or whatever, it doesn't matter that much. It's just a cool visual effect. It makes the drawing more rich, more fun to look at. Now I'm going to go back to this lightest color again. I'm going to darken up some areas. And also blend in these colors together. A little bit more with this color, second color. There, I think that's good. So I'm done with these. The next darkest thing is her skin. So she's got really dark skin. Go to the earth tones and try to find a good match. There's not actually that much variety in the earth tones in my markers. So I'll do my best, but I don't know if I'm going to get an exact match for, at least for the reference image. Like, I think the darkest I need to go is at my darkest marker. So, I should find some colors that look good with that. So I don't think that, this looks too washed out. This isn't a good skin tone. I don't know, maybe these, but maybe this would be a good start. And end with this one. So for, let's see, should I start that way? Or should I start right here? She's got really dark skin, so I'm going to start with E57, Earth Tone 57, Light Walnut. This will be the brightest part where the light's hitting. Oh yeah, that looks good. Ooh, look at how good it is. Yes, she's going to look lovely. Lovely. I just realized that by doing all these reward chibis that are from the Angel Reaper webcomic, I'm also increasing my own Angel Reaper fan art repertoire. Because I've done a lot of fan art in the past for this series. Ah, look how good that looks. Yes, this was the right choice. This was definitely the right choice. She looks so good. Okay. I haven't even done the shading yet. I'm just so happy with this color. And when you get to the bigger areas, it's important to really follow the lines so that if you have any streakiness left over, it still matches with the overall flow of whatever area you're coloring. I don't always remember to do that, but for the most part I do. It also helps to break it up into sections. So like I colored this section first, and that way even if there ends up being a streak because of covering a drier part with new wet marker, it won't seem that out of place because it goes along with the black ink line right there. So it just makes logical sense. And I always tend to leave the face for last because of that, because it's such a big area on a chibi. The first thing I can do is color these little triangles here. And then I can color the eye area. I should have wrapped my foot in ice. I just thought of it because my foot hurt when I put it on my chair just now. I've been doing my foot recovery stuff pretty diligently for the past week, but so far today I haven't done anything. Well, I took my ibuprofen, but after I'm done streaming here, I need to go roll myself on my foam roller and do a bunch of intensive held stretches and use my muscle floss, which is an interesting thing I only learned of because I posted my lament about not being able to go running or go to my classes at the gym or go skating or anything until my foot gets better. And then my friend said, I know someone who had that and they swear by his body floss tape. So I don't know if it's making a difference, but I only spent $10 to buy a couple reusable strips of it, so it's not a big loss if it's not actually doing anything for me. I've also been using the kinesiology tape, which has been really good actually for it's just sort of makes my foot feel relaxed. I don't know how to explain it. Like it relaxes the pain. So that's really good. I'm glad I tried that too. And I also need to roll out on my little peanut, little massaging peanut. What else? I'm trying to remember everything I need to do. Stretching, rolling, kinesiology tape, that's still on from yesterday. What else? Oh yeah, I could give my foot an Epsom soak. Epsom salt soak. Haven't done that in a couple days. And then of course I need to put my ice pack on. There, nice and even. Nice and even coloring. I'll leave this out. Let's go to the next color, E59. Walnut. So let's keep in mind the light source coming this way. Helps that I've already done the shading on this and on the socks, so I can make the shading on the body in those areas just match. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I think this character is also supposed to be kind of buff. I'm going to do a little shading to try to indicate some muscles here. Oh goodness, look, I missed this spot where the water bottle should be showing through there. Ever since I have been getting more in shape than ever in my whole life, it's been so much easier to deal with drawing anatomy, especially understanding how the muscles should look and work, because I can just see my own muscles now, where I couldn't really see them before. And the fitter and leaner I get, the more understanding I have. It's so much easier to just go ahead and draw some body part when I can just recall my own experience with it instead of having to like go research it. Since the light's coming from this side, I'm going to do a lot more shading over here than on this one, because there should be lots of light hitting this ear. So let's see, face, let's see, some shading here. Definitely these bangs are going to make it all dark here. Over here, the light will be hitting these ear tails. I don't know if there's some official name for that, but I've always called them ear tails. I started calling them that when I wore them all the time in high school. Super long ones, just like this. I'd always brush my hair over my ears with super long hair, and I called it ear tails. Now where the eye curves here should be some shadow. And here the bang should be casting some shadow. Maybe a little bit right here too. Okay, next color, the darkest color I have in browns, E49, Dark Bark. Here's what I'm going to do. More of that reflected light trick. Try to do it. course, in some areas it's just going to be dark. No reflected light happening. I think for the most part up here it's going to be quite dark. And ears always have pretty dark shading because it's a really deep curve inside of an ear, a human-like ear. Now, just like with the blue shirt, I'm going to take the lightest marker and go over stuff to blend it, add a little more darkness to areas where I want. Oops, got a little bit on the sock. I have to fix that. I have to fix that later with some white ink, probably. Now I'm going to use the bigger side of this marker to blend this facial shading. I'm going to use colored pencils in the end to really get a nice blend, make it really smooth, but for now this will be good enough. So I'm done with these, done with the skin. Next, the next darkest thing has got to be her hair. Starts out pretty light. There's some really light parts, but overall it's pretty dark. The only other thing probably darker is her skirt. Okay, let's see. Just looking at it. Kind of a royal blue for the hair. It's definitely different from... I guess I should do her eyes at the same time. Her eyes are like in between this and this. This seems like maybe... I think I'm going to go with this one. So we'll start with... Oh, how perfect. Ice blue. How perfect for Icys. Okay, B12. I'm going to start with B12. So we can get that really nice bright color showing light reflecting, shining into her eyes. Start with this. With markers, you should always start with the lightest color, just like with watercolor. And then I jump to B16, cyanine or cyanine blue. And the dark part comes pretty far down, like her eyelids are casting a shadow on her own irises. Actually, while I'm at it, I need to get some gray in here. Shading on the white of the eye. Let that dry for a second, then I'll come back to it. Now I need to go even darker for the pupil. So I'll go along the same line, B18, lapis lazuli. I love doing this, coloring the pupil. Just a darker shade of whatever the iris color is. I've seen some artists do something though that I want to try sometime, which is actually color the pupil like a totally different color. Like an opposite color or a color like a couple down on the color wheel. But right now isn't the time for experimenting. That's not what I'm here to do today. I need something darker than this though. Ooh, Prussian blue. B39. I've been reading a lot about Prussia in my Japanese history book that I bought and have been reading. It's about Mutsu Munemitsu. It's such a tongue twister for me. Mutsu Munemitsu. And he lived through the Meiji Restoration and was a central figure in a lot of that stuff. And he went to Europe and studied different forms of democracy to see what would work. And there's a lot of other people mentioned in this book too. It's not just about him, it's mostly like he's the focal point, but it's actually about the whole Meiji Restoration and the coming of modern democracy in Japan. It's so fascinating. If I tried to read this when I was much younger, I would have had no interest, but like thanks to anime and manga and stuff, I am so interested in actual Japanese history just so I can understand the cultural references, and also because I'm just legitimately interested now thanks to those series. I was so excited at the beginning of this history book because it's all talking about the Battle of Toba Fushimi, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember that from Hakuoki or whatever. Remembering about these battles, you know, romanticized, fictionalized versions of them, but still with a root in history. and then reading about what actually happened, the historical significance, and it's just, I like giving myself goosebumps. I never liked history when I was younger, but I think it's because I didn't have any good teachers. I didn't have any good history teachers until university. And now I'm like, I love history, especially if it's from the point of view of Japan. Like, I'm far more interested in Japanese, even if it's like the Japanese view of world history, not just the history of Japan. So that's something I've been surprised about with this book I've been reading, because it's not just focused on Japan. It takes a world view of it. Like, this is how Japan was affected by the world at the time, and how it looked at what everybody else was doing. And like, it talks about the French Revolution a lot. It constantly brings that up. But I think it's because the author himself was the first Japanese person to go to university in, it's one of the big ones, like Oxford or something, one of the big ones in England. So he himself, the author, has a pretty good worldview, an idea of how stuff flows together and not everything's in a vacuum. Like, I feel like American history was taught to me in a sort of vacuum state. Like, oh, here's America and here's Western Europe, and that's like all that matters, and nobody else in the world is talked about in history. And I hated that. It's so boring. I want to hear about everything. So I don't have much variety in blues. When I'm looking at her hair, I think it needs to be the same color family as the shirt, but I just won't start so light. I think I'll start with the sky color and then go darker from there. So B24, sky. I might color these hair ties something other than what they are in the picture, because in the picture they're just, in the reference picture I mean, they're just black. But I just feel like I want to do them something that's not just black. Maybe I could do them purple. I can't tell. Yeah. It seems like the skirt is a really dark blue leaning to the purple side. But the really purpley purple part is the stripes on the socks. So if I do purple on these two, then that'll sort of tie them in, and it won't let these stripes be so lonely in color. They won't be the only purple thing anymore. And then purple's also pretty dark, so it'll still be pretty close to the original black. Nice long lines, so that as long as, if it's going to be streaky, which it is a little bit, it just adds to the effect, like looking like hair, pieces of hair. making these sort of rounded diamond shapes for the bangs. And then filling in. If you saw my lights flash, I think it's because the AC just came on. It has been 90-degree temps for like 2 weeks now. It's a regular Idaho summer, finally. Although this morning was so cool, like the temperature was pretty low, so it's still not quite 100% normal. The weather for the last 2 years has just been so unusual. And some people argue that, oh, well, it's Idaho, it's always unusual, but not like this. Like, there's still a range of weather patterns that occur. And it's just been all over the place the last couple of years. I can't help but think of global climate change, but living in a ultra conservative, uneducated red state, you can't really talk freely about that if you want to chat about the weather here with some random stranger while you're waiting for whatever. While you're waiting for your turn at the plasma donation center. I stopped by one yesterday, plasma donation center, because I had an eBay order to drop off at the post office, and when I was there I was like, oh, I'd seen it online on Google Maps, but I didn't realize how close it was. So I went in because since I have tattoos, I've heard that they can cause problems. But they took me back and had one of the technicians or whatever check me out, and he seemed to think it could probably work, because the deal is my tattoo covers up the visual veins, but they like found one here. But I'm always like, doctors, hello, I've got this whole arm and it's perfectly good. For some reason I feel like it's got to be because most people are right-handed, so they want to go to my left arm or something. I don't know where they always pick the tattooed arm and then have a hell of a time sticking me, and I'm like starting to tremble and have go into shock from being stabbed so painfully so many times or whatever. Like, come on guys, just try the other arm, just try it. I'm just trying to think of ways to help fund my trip to Japan for the 2020 Olympics. Now let's go to B26, Cobalt Blue. So I was hoping that opening a Patreon and offering rewards and selling stuff that I normally sell at conventions online, offering commissions, etc. But I haven't gotten much business, so I'm trying to think of other ways to make the Olympics happen for me, because I'm going no matter what. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go. And recently a friend was like, well, you can always donate plasma if you need extra money. And I've never done it before. I've always been too scared of needles in the past, but not scared anymore. So, and it's kind of an honorable thing to do. Like, you're helping people. You're legitimately helping people by donating as well. So I'm considering going in and doing that. The only thing is that preventing me right now is that you need a proof of address. So it needs to be a piece of mail that has your name and address on it. But the thing is, I only get either personal, like, letters, which is not what they're looking for, or junk mail. I don't get bank statements or bills or pay stubs or anything in the mail. Like, I think a lot of people don't. Like, go green, get an online statement. So I think I'm going to have to go to my bank and request that they mail me a bank statement just for the sake of proving my address. Seems like a waste, but I see why they'd want to do it, because blood donation and plasma donation is a serious thing, and I'm sure some desperate people might try to falsify their identity or something if they have some problem, some reason why they shouldn't be donating, and I see why they require it, but it's still annoying. Still annoying to have to do it. They said that it would be fine if my address on my driver's license was my actual address, but unfortunately it's not, because I recently moved and I have not updated my license yet. I need to do that too, because my weight and stuff is totally wrong. It has me at 160 pounds and I'm now at 145. So I need to update that for that reason too. I'm sure my face looks different once they take my photo on their not too flattering machines. A lot of people complain about how you can't smile in your ID anymore, but I think I look fine without showing my teeth. And I see why that is too, because you're usually not smiling when you're like waiting in line at the airport or when you get pulled over by a cop. You're not going to be flashing a wide-toothed grin. You're going to have like a serious face. Ooh, it's hard to get in these little tiny areas. Just working on her head because I want it to be, I don't want to cover too much of the light blue, because this is where I really need to show that, though I can always put the white ink or even colored pencil on later. But still, the better job I do now with the markers, the less work I'll have to do later. Okay, definitely need to go a shade deeper. I wonder if I should go to ultramarine or a different color. That's probably good enough. B29. Ultramarine. Plus ultramarine. I had a theory that I was trying to work out. It's a personal little thing I was thinking about My Hero Academia, and couldn't find the quote I wanted in Japanese. What I wanted to figure out was, does the idea I thought of work in Japanese as well as it does in English? Well, it's not really a spoiler. It's how Deku always says, all might saves people with a smile. Like, All Might always smiles when he's saving people. And I've thought that in English, that could have two meanings, because it could be he's wearing a smile when he saves people, but it could also mean he saves people using a smile. And I really like that. So either way, in English, it definitely has a double meaning, where you can interpret it as a double meaning even if that wasn't intentional. So I've been trying to find an episode where Deku says that in Japanese so I could listen closely and see if it seems like it works the same however it's said in Japanese, but I couldn't easily find an episode where he specifically says that. But I ended up watching like at least half of the first episode again, which I've already watched like 4 or 5 times because I love this show that much. And I was just like laughing. I forgot about the jokes and stuff. Like, the show's gotten really serious recently, which is fine. I'm enjoying it just as much, but I forgot how funny it was at the beginning. So now I'm like, why not go back and watch it again? Watch it for like the 6th time. Let's just watch it again. It's just so good. It's just such a good show. It's so freaking good. It's been a long, long time since I've felt so enthusiastic and so moved by a shonen anime like that. A typical like Shonen Jump shonen anime. Like, I think probably the last time was when Bleach came out. And I quickly lost, relative to how long the manga went on. The anime didn't even get finished. It's like I quickly lost interest in it. It's like the part where Nukia, I think her name is. Can't even remember the character names. Anyway, she like sentenced to death or whatever by her own brother. Something. I didn't get past that. There was this one character that was my favorite character, and he still is my favorite character. And I started wishing that the show was just about him because he was so much more interesting than anybody else. What's his name? Zon something. Or, no. He was one of the captains. One of the Shinigami captains. He's super cool, and he was like all bloodthirsty. But he had the little like Chibi girl who was all sweet and stuff as his like best bud. It's getting so markerific that it's getting hard for me to see it without picking it up. Why? I know why. Because I let my cat Kiki in here earlier. She was so cute. She followed me down. So we couldn't resist letting her in, even though I really shouldn't, because she jumped up here. And, you know, as soon as the cat jumps up, their fur is like instantly. Like, literally, it just comes out when they land. It's like the hairs fall down. That's why there's been so many hairs all over my picture today. Whew. Okay, going back to the lighter color to blend a little bit. Blend and darken. out good. I'm liking this. Yes. I feel like I still want to go a little bit darker. I don't know if I have a darker blue that'll work. Might have to go to like a cool gray or something. Get my lamp closer on this side. Like, I guess I could go to this Prussian blue again, but it's such a totally different color. It's a more dull color too. It is darker. What about just some cool gray? Maybe I should just use some cool gray. I don't know. That'll take some of the vibrance out of her hair, and she's such a colorful character. I could use the opposite of blue. Orange. That won't work. That won't work. Nope. See, with some paints, if you add the opposite color, it will give you an even darker color. And a lot of people live by that as a rule for making shadow colors and blacks. They never make a true black. They never buy a tube of black paint. But with markers, I've found that if you're using the more stronger color like blue, you can't add in orange and expect it to turn into like a black, because the orange is still so light. Even when you're on the darkest orange, it's still so light. So instead of making it a darker shade, it sort of stands out as a brighter part, which doesn't make sense. I guess I'll just try the Prussian blue and see how I think about that. Yeah, it's not very much darker. It is darker though. It's actually kind of a nice subtle transition. I think over here I want to do the middle color. Let me make sure this was, oh yeah. A little bit more dark on this ear tail. so shiny. So shiny in the light. Okay, his hair in the back needs a little bit more dark. Oh yeah, I was gonna go back to the eyes. Forgot. Wanted to let that cool gray that I started with dry, because I used it to push the brown out a little bit on this eye because I put too much brown, so I used the marker to fix that up a little bit. So I wanted it to dry so that I didn't move the brown any further. Now that it's dry, I can add some more and make it more deep of a shadow up here. There. Now, is the hair good? I think I'm satisfied with the hair. As far as the markers are concerned. So let's put this stuff away. 29, 24, and 26. So next, I think I should do these earrings next. They're just golden, and this belt buckle is also. I should do those before I move on to anything darker. Let's see, I don't know. I like a golden color. In this reference image, they definitely look like yellow gold. Yeah, maybe this acid yellow. That's really vibrant. Y08. Acid yellow. Ooh, this will probably look really good with some white gel ink highlights. Ooh, look at that. It stands out so good. Looks good. This is a good color. I don't know that I'd call it acid yellow if I was the one naming it, but that's what it's called. Slightly darker color. Actually, I'll probably go to the earth tones to get a shadow color. Not that red. Not that red group. This is the most yellow group, so probably for how saturated this color is, I need to go E57. I need to go pretty dark because this is a not very big area. And for metallic, what really works is doing a really dark shadow next to a really bright highlight. So I'm not even going to do like a middle range shadow. I'm just going to do dark shadow to make it look really metallic and shiny. It'll really pop once I add the white gel pen. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. But I need to do this belt buckle. I almost forgot. And I guess I'll do this E57 down here too. I'm going to keep it light because this is such a small little area. There, I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, what's next? What haven't I colored yet? The bottle label. I decided I want that to be gray. I don't want it to be another color because we've already got blue, purple, pink. I think that's enough. We'll just make it a nice neutral gray color. Though I'm not using neutral gray, I'm using toner gray. Let that dry for a second so I can get a more... If I put on a darker color now, it will blend into this color, and I want a harder line for the next shadow because I want there to be a specific shadow for the hand holding the bottle. So let's go on to purple. Yeah, it really looks like the purple stripes for the socks are a different color than the skirt, even though the skirt also has a purple tint. It's like the sock stripes are in between this pink and this color, sort of. Not perfectly, but let's see. Let's start with this V17 Amethyst. This is so small, I gotta be real careful. This is your small little area. Okay, that's good. And then I'm taking my artistic liberty and making these hair ties purple, even though they are originally just black. I'm going to bring in this purple into some other areas. So leave that out now. Let's go back to this. So I was using toner gray 3. Let's do toner gray 4. Just a little shadow just to show the hand is holding the bottle. And I need a darker one. I need 5 after all. Maybe I used 4 originally. Should have paid attention. There, that's good. Really makes it look like the hand is above the bottle and not the same, like, flatness. Not on the same... I don't know how to explain this. I just want it to look like it sticks out further than the bottle, and that shadow really helps. So, I'm going to do... Skirt really has a really strong blue tint. So maybe I'll start with this blue violet BV08. It's purple, but it has a lot of blue in it too. Oops. And then I'll go back to actual blues for the shading. Just Prussian blue again. I don't know. I don't know how well these will jive. Let's try it though. B29 Ultramarine again. Bring out the Ultramarine. Ooh, seems like it works good actually. Yay! It looks quite good. Yay! And a little bit here for the belt, cast in a shadow. Yes, that's quite good, I think. Let's go back to this color. And blend it a little bit. That's actually got a really cool effect. How it goes from the warmer purple to the cooler blue makes it seem even more in shadow over here. That's really neat. You need a little slightly darker one. I think I'm going to go to this Prussian blue again. Not even going to look at it. Oh, stressed out monk. Hi. Welcome. Thank you for coming by again. Oh my gosh, look at all those little pictures. Look at all those little happy loves. How are you doing today? I'm glad you could make it. I'm getting close to done on this. Now I'm going to try for that reflected light again. I'm not shadowing all the way to the edge. Just almost. Now these colors look really good together like this. As the caps. Okay, so the skirt's done. Violet 8. Okay, but I'm not done with this. Ooh, lunch break. Hope you're having a good break, having a good lunch. I haven't had my lunch yet. Wow, I didn't realize it was so late. Dang. I've just been working on this. Having fun working on this. Well, I had a huge breakfast too, so I'm not too hungry yet. Okay, so I'm going to do this V09 Violet. That's the next shade for this one. These little socks. And on the hair ties. I went out a little bit. That's okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else for this purple color. I think the only thing left for markering is the belt. Should I just do the same color as her skin, or should I do a slightly different? I guess I should pick a color that goes good with the, I keep thinking this is like a little pet hair. I think it's a pencil mark. There, maybe it won't distract me every time I open this page. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick something that looks good with the purple skirt. Ew, no. Maybe this maroon color is almost a purple tint itself. I'm gonna try that as a base. E77 maroon. It's a different brown than I've used anywhere else. Oh wow, next to the skirt it almost looks like a red tint rather than a purple tint. But this won't be all. I need to add some shading. What should I do for shading? I don't think any of these are dark enough. Not much choice. Guess I'll just go to the E49 Dark Bark again. The darkest brown I have. Shoulder belt sticks out here. not as much shadow as we get over here because that's where the light's coming from. Let's go over it again with this color. It's maroon color. There. Okay, belt's done. I think I want an even darker gray for the eyes. For the white of the eyes. Oh, AC came on again, so my lights are flashing. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better. This is my C4. Cool gray 4. Pull it down just a little bit. Now, something's been bugging me here. I did this little shading here. I don't know why I didn't connect it. There. What was I using for lighter color? I think I was using... I don't remember. Oh, it was these. E57 Light Walnut. I'm going to blend it a little bit by using the lightest color. And then do the extra layer over here too, so that they're even. Sweet, that's much better. Well, I think that's good for the marker. Now, I'm going to switch out from my colored pencils. What I wanted to start with, here we go, some browns to even out the line. Like, might not be able to tell on the camera, but there's still some lines here from coloring in. So I'm just going to put on some colored pencil. Hopefully this is a good match. I can also add it, use it to add some highlights. But first I'm going to put this little base down just to even out those lines. How much I'll use for highlight? I don't want to go straight to the white pencil. Be a little more subtle. Just this one. Ooh, that's nice. Use it on our ears too. This is a great highlight color. Put it on our hand too. Oh yeah, I need to remember to add the actual like swirling magic stuff. Can't forget that. Dang it. I had to put my pencils here, so I can't put my brush here. So I go all the way down her. Oh, this is such a good highlight color. I'm using colored pencils to soften up the marker shading. They work so well together, colored pencils and marker. And I think I need, oh, she's looking so cute with that highlight on there. I need a slightly darker color because I'm losing some of these darker shadows. How's that? Use this dark color down here on her torso. Use a dark color on the belt too. Area right here I'm going to make darker. blender. Blender pencil. It's no pigment, just wax. Blend out this white right here on the belt. Gotta wipe away a little excess wax so it doesn't get smeared anywhere that I don't want it. Okay, happy with the basic shading on the skin, but I want to add my favorite thing, cute blushy with this dark of skin tone. Well, I can't use my normal pink, I don't think. Let's see. About start with this, see what this looks like. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Looks good. I also like to use these colors to line the eyes. One of my favorite things about eyes is that pink. In makeup terms, they call it your waterline. And I always think it's a shame in makeup when people line their waterline with eyeliners. Like, no, I want to see that beautiful piece of human anatomy. It's so cool. Now the eyelashes are below it. So it's like with, you don't think about that as much if you're looking at cartoons and anime a lot, because they don't often draw that. They just draw a black line. It's like, oh, that's the bottom eyelashes. But there's actually this little pink part right in between. I'll keep that out in case I want it some more. But I do want more of a vibrant color. Now, that was a good starting color, but yeah, that's more like it. Now let's see. Use this highlight color to blend it a little bit. I think I will do a little pink because I want to bring these blushies out farther. But using the highlight color is not blending out the main color enough. I'll bring in this dark color a little bit. Now it's a little too much highlight on the shadow area. I love when the blush is right up in the eyes like this. Not just in my drawings, but in makeup too. I love it when the blush is up high on a person. Oh, Monk, you're sleepy? Have you had any coffee today? So if it's lunchtime, you shouldn't have any more coffee because it'll make it harder to sleep at night. At least it does for me. And though sometimes I'm like, if I don't have some coffee, I'm just gonna go to sleep anyway. Mess up my sleep schedule anyway. And then I go to sleep. You have much longer in your work day? It's lunchtime. Does lunchtime mean halfway point? Or does that just mean that's the time of day it is? And you might have longer or shorter left. Oh yeah, I'm having to work the cheek blushy color a lot more than normal. But I think it's worth it because I'm really liking how it's turning out. I think it's looking super cool. Looking super cool, Icys. Yeah, okay. A little bit more red, real close to your eye. I just love red along eyes. I just get, it's so good. I like it so much. How's that? I think that's good. I'm just going to use this colorless blender. Blend it out a bit more. Just darkening the eyelids a little bit. I feel like they're sticking out just a little bit too much, standing out a little too much. Very good. Yeah, just a little bit of pink texture. What am I talking about? Pink, what's the word? Color, obviously, but there's a different word. Tint. Pink tint to her lips. Really small, not too much. Just a little bit. And blend it out with my blender pencil. Alright, what else? Man, her face is looking so good. I'm so pleased with that. This shadow right here needs to get darkened a little bit. Okay. Still not sure how I'm going to do those I don't know if colored pencil will be enough. Guess I should just try it. It just needs to be swirling the water around. So I'm going to have it be like a ball of water at the top. It's like wrapping. It's actually working pretty good so far. Wrapping around her arm. Coming down and swirling out of the bottle. And this isn't sharp enough. Where's my sharpener? I love these little general sharpeners for my colored pencils. It gives me that shorter tip that I like for colored pencils. Now let's see. Let's bring this white. Wiping away all the extra wax. I'll do like a little extra drop or two of water. Or 3. Although it's getting hard right here because I already put so much colored pencil down. On the skin, put lots of colored pencil down. Okay, back to the blue. And it looks like a little snake. I don't know, I might enhance this in Photoshop when I scan it in, because it's just not covering as well as I would hope. Let's try this lighter blue, maybe it'll help. I mean, it's definitely covering. It's definitely visible. But I would like it to stand out more than what it is. Just keep working on it until I feel satisfied. This piece is already mixed media, so it won't be a problem to add some digital touches at the end. In fact, a lot of my digital pieces are mixed media anyway, because I really like to ink the physical media regardless. I could also add some cool glowing effects. I'm not really getting out of the colored pencil if I fix it up in Photoshop. Yeah, I think that's good for just the basic. And since these Patreon rewards are all delivered digitally only anyway, why not fix it up in Photoshop? It's going to have to go through Photoshop either way. What else? What else do I need to do? Maybe I'll do a little red on the tips of the ears. Colorless blender. Yeah, I don't know if there's anywhere else that actually needs colored pencil other than final thing that I always like to do, adding blue and purple. She's already so blue, I don't know if I'll add any blue today. She's got so much blue on her. So I'm just going to start with the purple and see what I think. I'm going to start with a darker purple. And she's got a lot of purple too. She's already got a lot of purple too in her outfit and everything. Maybe I should use a lighter purple than this. I don't want too light. Oh, what about this one? Wow, this is the one I think I usually use. I like this one. It doesn't usually let me down. Ooh, but I gotta use this dark one on this super dark skirt. Use it on the super dark belt too. Ooh, that looks good on her hair. This purple. This purple looks good. Are you heading out, Monk? Off of lunch? Thank you for dropping by. Hope to see you again. Hope to catch one of your streams soon. Yeah, I need to use this darker purple. These shadowy areas. There's the lighter one down here. I'll use the darker one in her hair a little too. And two purples in her hair. Ooh, definitely in the back here. Oh, I'm really liking this rainbow of colors right here. The colored pencils are looking really good. Yeah, I don't think I'll do the blue highlight that I usually do because she's just got so much blue. Like it's not going to show up on her hair because her hair is all blue. Her eyes are blue. Her shirt is blue. So much blue. The water coming out of the water bottle. And I think I'll leave it like this. And so that means I'm done with colored pencils unless there's anything that I missed. I'll do a little bit of purple in her eyes. Just the tiniest bit. I just love that in that purple. It's so good. It makes it look so good. I need this light to come closer. There's that. It's a little better. Whew. What next? White gel ink. That's what I need. And I need my scrap paper. Get the pen going really nicely. First, let's do some eye shinies. Probably everybody's favorite part of drawing an anime style something or other. Eye shinies. It brings her to life. It just comes to life. Let's add another one down here. Oh, it's so cute. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I need this big one anymore. Maybe I should use it for the hair. Let's see. The light's coming from this way. Should have a lot of highlights over here. It should be. But I did put a lot of purple down. Dang it. This pen doesn't want to cooperate with me today. Come on. Trying to clear out the tip. So there's plenty of ink left. I'm going to shake it a little bit. don't cooperate today. Come on, we're not even on a part with colored pencil yet. Maybe if I use one of my other ones. It's always what happens with the colored pencils, with the gel pens. They eventually get dry, and even though there's still plenty of ink left, they just won't write anymore. Now this one's smaller, but it's giving me better lines than the larger one. The larger one is the oldest one I have now, though, so maybe it's just about time to get a new one. And some highlights here where the hair is curving out. Ooh, her hair is so shiny, so lovely. I think that's good. I'm going to let it dry a little bit, and then I want to do a couple little stray hairs with the white ink, because I think that always looks really, it's just a cool detail to add. So now I'm going to add these highlights on the earrings. That'll make them look really nice and metallic. For these little hairs, I think it's better to use my littlest pen. that's probably good for the little stray hairs. Anything else? Oh, the water bottle. Should use my smallest one again. That one's a medium. It's a small one again to get, because it's a plastic water bottle, so it should have a nice reflection on it. Oh yeah, that really makes it stand out too. Oh, the belt buckle. I just missed that. These shinies to show that it's metallic. Just looking it over. Make sure there's nothing else where I want to add white gel pen. I don't think there is though. I'm going to move on to one of the very last steps, which is this final outline. I can't remember on these chibis if I was doing stretching, sorry. Sorry for the interruption. I need to stretch. I know I've been preferring this graphic 1 to outline, but I feel like maybe I've been using the 8 to outline the other ones. But maybe it doesn't matter that much. Goo. I'm gonna go get the other ones out and compare, because I think it'll be nice if they can all be displayed next to each other. I don't want any of them to stand out for having slightly thicker outlines. I think I had to do this last time too. Scrapbook box with all my small art in it. A little precious All Might. Aha, here's the last one I did. Let's do one like that, and then one like that. Oh no, I must be using this one. Excellent. Good job, me, doing the one that I want. Leave this out because I've got some art that I need to put in there anyway. Okay, so the graphic 1 is what I was using. So let's start this outline. So I always love to do this as a little final thing. It brings it all together. Makes it feel like one whole piece. Kind of unifies everything, especially with something like this where the proportions are so off. But if it's all got this same thickness of border on it, they still come together. but I won't do the outline. Oh, maybe that'll help. I won't do the outline wherever this water magic is happening. Another thing that's good about this, when I remember to do it at the end rather than during the inking stage, is that it helps cover up any areas where I got colored pencil on the ink lines, because that always stands out, or where I went out of the lines a little bit with a marker or something. It's just another reason why it helps unify the picture at the end. Man, today's been a long day for my stream. But I want to fulfill my Patreon rewards, so I'm going to get this done no matter how long it takes. I really, really appreciate that. Even if it's just one person, which it is, this one person believes in me enough to give me their hard-earned money once a month. I want to make sure I make stuff that they really love. I've been thinking that it's really artists that Patreon is historically most, like, well, based on history, Patreon is an artist thing, because artists in the past, great artists, could only do their work as a job, as their thing that they did for life, because they had patrons who would not buy art from them or commission them, but they simply paid their living expenses or gave them a place to live and food and bought their clothes and everything. So Patreon is the modern version of that, where anyone can be a patron. You don't have to be some super rich, noble person. Because if everyone comes together and supports the artists that they love, then you have the effect of one big patronage through many smaller donations. So once I realized that, I just felt even more appreciative of the people who are supporting me right now. It's like, yes, this is real for me. I'm a real career artist. Feels good. It's exciting. Makes me want to create more art. So I'm working on this. It takes me 3-4 hours. I'm going to make it as good as I can. Get all these nice little details in there. I think I got everywhere I wanted that. I wanted to bring back that nice pointiness. So maybe this foot, though, I will smooth it out. Oh, what the heck? I think I might be done with it. Might be done with this month's Patreon Chibi. The only thing I need to do, I think, is sign it. So I shall do that. This pen's too small. I won't sign with I like to sign with the 5 or the 8. There. Here we go. Another Patreon monthly Chibi contest winner complete. Icys from the webcomic Angel Reaper. If you want to try to win a chibi like this every month, you just need to go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Studio Mikarts, and just have to support at the $5 level or above. And right now, even if you support at the $1 level, I'm giving everybody a chibi commission just like this just for signing up, just for supporting me, no matter what the level. So I hope you check it out if you liked this chibi and want to get one for yourself. Thank you for watching.